Of course I can spoil Lisa Frankenstein for you. This movie is literally about a girl that brings a Victorian-era man back to life as a zombie, and set in the same universe as the movie Jennifer's Body, even sewing a new cucumber onto him so they can smash, as they go on a spree of sacrificing others so he can become more alive in order to get revenge. Lisa Frankenstein, full spoilers, here we go. The movie starts off with a teenage high school goth girl named Lisa who is struggling with the loss of her mother. Her mom traumatically passed away when someone entered the house with a weapon, and Lisa saw all of it. Lisa often spends time at the cemetery and hangs out with this random statue of a guy from the Victorian era. Lisa's father has remarried to this narcissistic woman named Janet, and Janet has a daughter named Taffy who is now stepsisters to Lisa. Taffy is very preppy and popular, which is the polar opposite to Lisa, but she still tries hard to make Lisa like her. Lisa attempts to use a tanning bed but gets shocked by it and leaves. Lisa and Taffy decide to go to a party together. While Lisa is talking to her crush Michael, this girl named Tamara hands Lisa a drink that she secretly puts something in while Lisa consumes it without knowing. Lisa becomes very dizzy and starts hallucinating. Lisa runs into her classmate named Doug, who takes her into a room where he basically essays her. Later on, Lisa is traumatized by what happened at the party, so she goes to the cemetery to talk to that statue of the Victorian era man, expressing how she wishes she could be with him. During the 1800s, this man's girl left him for another guy, and then he ended up passing away by a lightning bolt. Then all of a sudden, in modern time, lightning strikes his grave and brings him back to life as a zombie. While Lisa is home alone watching TV, he ends up breaking into her house and terrifies her. But after she realizes that he's the same guy whose statue she has been talking to, she decides to hide him in her closet. He's unable to speak and moves really slow and also smells really bad. But he still treats her like a queen by brushing her hair and even giving back a bracelet that she left at his grave. And in return, she drips him out in nice clothes. Lisa attempts to tell her family about the zombie intruder, but they don't believe her. One day, while her evil stepmom Janet is home alone with the zombie, he secretly slips a worm into her cereal and she accidentally eats it. When Lisa comes home, the stepmom accuses Lisa of putting the worm in her cereal because she doesn't know that there's a zombie in the house. Right as the stepmom whacks Lisa in the cheek and threatens to put her in a mental institution, the zombie man sneaks up on the stepmom and unalives her in the head. The two go to bury Janet, but before they do so, he steals her ear, and Lisa sews it on for him. So romantic. Lisa comes up with the theory that since the lightning strike brought him back to life, she should put him in her tanning bed that shocked her to see if it changes him for the better. When he wakes up, he appears even more alive than ever. Meanwhile, Lisa's dad and stepsister still don't know that Janet has been unalived and think that she's just out of town. At school, Lisa writes a letter to Doug insinuating that they should meet at the cemetery for maybe some spicy time. Once Doug arrives at the ceremony, Lisa tricks him and gets revenge as the zombie man brutally makes Doug's hand go bye-bye and unalives him. Lisa takes zombie man to have another tanning sesh and then secures his hand. During Lisa's whole relationship with this zombie man, she's been just yapping about this guy Michael that she has a huge crush on. But this night, it seems like Lisa and zombie man finally share a special moment as they play the piano together and have kind of some spicy time by using something very similar to a massage tool. Meanwhile, Lisa's stepsister Taffy calls the hotel her mom was supposed to be at and finds out that she never checked in. When Lisa arrives at school the next day, the police are everywhere investigating the disappearance of Doug and the stepmom. Lisa goes to the principal's office because she is now a suspect since Tamara, the girl at the party who gave Lisa that drink, is telling them about a letter that was found that Lisa had wrote to Doug telling her to meet him at the cemetery. Lisa is well aware that she's going to get caught, so she tells zombie man to drive her to Michael's house, the guy that she has a crush on, so that they can smash before she's gone forever. She arrives at Michael's house and enters without knocking, only to find him in his room with her stepsister Taffy getting spicy together. And Taffy knew her stepsister Lisa had a crush on Michael, so that makes Taffy a snake. But zombie man then enters the room and makes Michael's cucumber go bye-bye with a weapon. Taffy is traumatized as Michael passes away right next to her, and then she goes with Lisa forcefully. Taffy and Lisa go in the car together and drive to the cemetery as Taffy just sits in silence in utter shock and terrified of Lisa. Lisa vents to Taffy about how she's sorry she hasn't been the best stepsister. Lisa finally leaves Taffy alone in the car once she decides it's time to put an end to zombie man because she realizes things have gone too far, so she goes after him in the cemetery with a weapon. But when she sees him, he basically confesses his love for her, so they end up making up. They go back home together and she attaches the fresh cucumber to zombie man. They smash until they hear police sirens in front of their house. Lisa and him go to her tanning bed and decide that she's going to unalive herself because she doesn't want to go to prison. Lisa then passes away. Flash forward, now we see Lisa's dad and stepsister visiting her grave as they're confused as to why there's so many fresh flowers in front of it. Then we see zombie man, who is now fully transformed into a very alive human being, reading to Lisa, who now looks like she has resurrected as zombie girl. The end. What movie should I spoil next?